29-yard line. And they'll run it here. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bears add on. And he's able to put it through. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Drops it off for Coleman. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll bring up second down.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. Watch him now, Barney, Barney. Hey, check my...
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third and a few inches. Now back to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down.
Hey, watch edge, watch edge. Black 99 Philly, here we go. 56 the mic. 56 is the mic. Push him back. Push him back. Watch twist. Watch. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. No. Check. Patriot. Patriot. You got nothing today. You got nothing. Check.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down.
4 down. 57's the mic. Watch 57. Black 99 Philly, here we go. Gun. Detroit. Let's go, we got this. Gun.
They'll try and throw for it here. He's going to air one out. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. That's their second, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this second quarter. We'll be right back. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bears continue to pour it on. So the first play of the drive, they strike through the air and score it.
A lot of coaches like change of possession as a time to go ahead and strike, and that's what we saw there. Ball turned over, first play, right to the end zone.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 47. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts this down to a 3rd and about 5.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Gotta go, gotta go.
On 3rd down, that's Cohen. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
What's the old adage, partner? Don't judge the book by its cover, because this guy, he takes the mantra that he'll go down with a brisk gust of wind and sets it on its head. Great effort there to break a tackle and come up with a nice gain.
Now Trubisky on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Trubisky. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up. This should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. He'll drop to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 32. And the return will stop right around the 25. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Jumping all the way from the outside, maybe getting a little early start in the corner blitz.
And the only time it makes sense to get that penalty is exactly as you described. Otherwise, he should never get that penalty.
Off the play fake. Burgess. The ball comes out, and this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Brashad Perriman, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Bears add on.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction.
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
Back to throw. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know, but all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They're going to try and throw. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 45. And he's given his guys a shot